First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahawashi Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel who listen and believe in this word. This is Brother Karat Zabad coming at you with another lesson. This one is entitled, Yahawashi was set up before the earth ever was. We're going to start off with Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. You see, that's saying the Lord Yahweh possessed me is speaking of Yahawashi. Okay? So Yahweh possessed Yahawashi in the beginning before his works of old. And the works of old represent the heavens and the earth. Proverbs 8 and verse 23. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. So that's the name of my lesson. Yahawashi was set up before the earth ever was. Proverbs 8 and verse 24. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Proverbs 8 and 25. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. Excuse me. Proverbs 8 and verse 26. While as yet he had made the earth, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. Verse 27. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. That's Yahawashi speaking. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. Verse 28. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep. Verse 29. That the water should not pass his commandment when he appointed the foundations of the earth. So that's proving the point that he was here before the earth ever was, and the heavens. Proverbs 8 and verse 30. Then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Proverbs 8 and verse 31. Rejoicing in the inhabitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. And the sons of men are the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. And of course, we know that Yahawashi, he was the firstborn of the spirits. All right. As well as he was the firstborn man in the flesh, because he was Adam. If you have ears to hear and you understand if you understand reincarnation, if you can receive it through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash, we are all reincarnated beings. Yahawashi was the first spirit. We are also spirits, but he was the firstborn spirit. We are also spirits in the flesh, but Yahawashi was the first spirit in the flesh as Adam. So let's continue on. Let's get a precept. Let's go to John chapter 1. We have here John chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was Yahawashi, and the Word was with God. See, the Word was with Yahweh. Yahawashi was with Yahweh in the beginning, and the Word was Yahweh. So Yahawashi represents the Word of Yahweh in the flesh. Let's continue on. John 1 and verse 2. The same was in the beginning with Yahweh. So that proves our point that Yahawashi was with Yahweh in the beginning. John 1 and verse 3. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So Yahawashi, he participated in the creations of the heavens and the earth along with Yahawashi. Let's get one more precept, Colossians. We have Colossians chapter 1, and we have verse 12. Colossians 1 and verse 12. And it reads as thus, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. All right, so this is, of course, Paul speaking, giving thanks unto the Father Yahweh, which hath made us meet, okay? Which has made us, which has made us meet means it made us, made it possible for us to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. And the saints are the Hebrew Israelites. The elect Hebrew Israelites first, okay? But in general, the saints represent the Hebrew Israelites, all right? And the inheritance that we receive, the inheritance of the saints in light, the light is Yahawashi. Let's read this again. Giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. You see? All right, let's go to the interlinear. If it comes up here, let's get the my fault, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the let's see here. That's not what I wanted. Salakia for that. I want the translation comparison. Salakia. See if it comes up here. It's taking a little bit of time here. Okay, here we go. This is the translation comparison of Colossians 1 and 12. Okay, this is the NLT. Translation comparison, the translation in the NLT of Colossians 1 and 12. Always thanking the Father, Yahweh, he has enabled you to share in the inheritance that belongs to his people. So his inheritance is, our inheritance is as saints. We're gonna be saints. We are saints, but we're really going to be saints when we enter the kingdom. Okay, starting with the elect, the 1/3 out of all the Hebrew Israelites, okay, that are going to be beamed up in the chariots on the day of the Lord. All right, so, and then the rest of the 2/3 that don't make it on this side will be born in the kingdom in the loins, all right, of the 1/3. All right. Let's read this again, Colossians 1 and 12. Always thanking the Father, he has enabled you to share in the inheritance that belongs to his people who live in the light, and the light is Yahawashi. Okay? So our inheritance is as saints. We're going to inherit new bodies. All right? We're going to inherit the law in our inward parts. We're not going to get sick. We're not going to die. We're going to be immortals. Starting with the elect first on this side. Let's go back. Let's read Let's read verse 13. Colossians 1 in verse 13. Who hath delivered us, and this is talking about the light, Yahawashi, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness. Because we've been born again in the spirit. We've woken up to this truth of who we are as Hebrew Israelites. If you're listening to me, if you're listening to other brothers, okay, who are Hebrew Israelites, who are doing lessons, particularly of Great Millstone, and the Holy Spirit's working with you to B'Kakwadash, then you've woken up. Your spirit has been reborn again. You've been born back from the dead. So your spirit has been quickened. It's alive. Now we still have these carnal bodies, all right, that we have to deal with, these vile carnal bodies that Paul speaks about. But, the thing is, at least our spirits are reawakened. So we have the hope of being part of the elect on the day of the Lord when Yahawashi comes with those chariots, okay, and his angels to destroy Babylon, America. He's going to extract the elect, 1/3 out of all the Hebrew Israelites. So we hope that we're part of the elect. So we say hope for elect, because we hope that we'll be beamed up out of here and we won't have to deal with the destruction of Babylon, which is going to be a lake of fire due to the nuclear bombs coming from Russia and the other nations, as well as the laser fire coming from the chariots of, Yahawashi. Okay, he's going to wreak havoc, Yahawashi and the angels. So we hope that we're part of the elect. We hope that we're not here and we don't get burnt up. But Yahawashi did redeem all of Israel, the 12 tribes. So the 1/3 and the 2/3 will eventually be in the kingdom. okay? And we'll all be saints, and we'll all have those immortal bodies. Let's read that again, Colossians 1 and verse 13. Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. So essentially, we are in the kingdom, okay? Because our spirits have woken up. Now, we're not in the kingdom that Yahawashi, we have to wait to the full kingdom. But essentially, this truth, this knowledge is part of the kingdom, okay? Knowing this truth, knowing this knowledge, knowing that we're Hebrew Israelites, that's a part of the kingdom. This is the first part, okay? Let's read that again one more time. Colossians 1 and verse 13. Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, this is Yahawashi, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. Okay? Well, who has delivered us from the power of darkness is talking about Yahweh, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. So just us knowing this knowledge is part of the kingdom, being quickened within us. So Colossians 1 and verse 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. Okay? So we were redeemed through the blood of Yahawashi. We were redeemed, okay? Him dying for us, he bought us back because we had violated the law, statutes, and the commandments. From Moses on, and various prophets came, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, so on and so forth. Various prophets came to us, the 12 tribes, to try to get us to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. But we kept violating, okay? We kept going off. We kept worshiping other gods, committing fornication against Yahweh. So Yahawashi had to come down, okay, in physical form and redeem us through his blood and sacrifice, buy us back, all right? Let's read this again, Colossians 1 and verse 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. So Yahawashi brought us grace and truth. It doesn't mean that you just go ahead and just continue to just pile iniquity upon iniquity, but we have found grace through Yahawashi, because it's impossible to keep every law, statute, and commandment. Now we have the first 10 the first 10 laws or commandments. Okay, you should be able to keep those relatively easy. But there are other laws that we won't be able to keep. Like, for instance, we have mixed fabrics. We're not going to be able to most of the time, have the same linen fabrics, because that's a law that you're supposed to have the same unilateral fabrics of your clothing. Now, that's impossible for most people because most of these clothes now have synthetic parts, polyester, rayon, cotton. They're mixed fabrics, all right? But part of the law in the Old Testament, you're not to wear mixed fabrics. So that's just one example. We can't keep every law, statute, and commandment. That's why Yahawashi died and redeemed us with grace. All right. Now in the kingdom, we'll be able to keep every law, statute, and commandment because we're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. So we'll be immortal. So the law will be in our inward parts. We won't have to think about it. It'll be natural. It'll go back to before Adam and Eve sinned. Okay. So Colossians 1 and verse 15. Let's read Colossians 1 and 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. That's Yahawashi, of course. Verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible Lord, okay? Most High, the firstborn of every creature. You see? So Yahawashi is the firstborn of every creature. Yahawashi was Adam, okay? When the earth and the heaven was created, he put Yahawashi down on the earth as Adam. Okay, so Yahawashi is reincarnated just like we are reincarnated. But he was the firstborn spirit and the firstborn creature, okay? Creation physically on the earth. Colossians 1 and verse 16. For by him were all things created, you see, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. This is talking about Yahawashi. Colossians 1 and verse 17. This is the last verse. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. All right? So that just about sums it up. I wanted to make those main points short and sweet and get to the point. So I want to give all praises to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and I hope this lesson was edifying to you. Shalom.